What's up, my hunting brothers and sisters? Today it's another review, but this time it is the Classic 2 one-piece saddle from Latitude Outdoors. So stay tuned so you can get my impressions of this nice piece of equipment. What do we have here? Looks like a new box from Latitude. Pretty sweet. So Latitude reached out to me the other day because they saw my review of their Method 2 saddle and of their X-Wing platform, and they said, hey, if we sent you the Classic 2, would you do a review on this? I said, heck yeah, I will. So, full disclosure, I did not pay for this saddle. They sent this to me. I'm going to do a review on it. I get to keep it. They are not going to see this review before I publish it. So, everything in this is my opinions of this saddle. So, let's get all that out of the way right there. So, anyways, so they sent this. Again, I said this in the Method 2 review. I am a sucker for packaging. Why does it matter? It's just a stupid cardboard box. Well, I don't know. It's just cool to get something in a cool package when you get it. But I also believe that when a company spends the attention to detail on packaging, that generally the quality of what they're building also follows suit. So this is really nice cardboard box, the topo lines, all that stuff. The Classic 2 is a one-size saddle, where the Method 2 comes in a regular size and an XL size. In my review, I did a regular size, so I'm about 6 foot tall, weigh roughly 210 pounds, and so use that as a reference when we put this thing on here later. It's got, they do have a QR code on the end of this, so you could take your phone, shoot that, and I believe it takes you to like some tech support or getting you started type of information on their website, which is kind of cool. I've not tried it. On the back, it basically talks about Latitude and everything. These are made and built in the USA, which is really cool. They're a Michigan company. So anyway, so again, enough about the silly cardboard box, I know. But again, I'm a sucker for it because I think it matters at the end of the day. So let's open this up and take a look at it. Ooh, we got thank you for joining the Latitude team note in here. That's kind of cool. So open it up, and it is nicely packaged in here. Nicely folded up. The Classic 2 is a one panel, where the Method 2 that we reviewed in a previous video is a two panel. So in here you get the panel, removable leg straps, and an awesome Latitude decal. So we're going to set the cool box and the decal aside for now. And we have our removable leg straps. These are identical, as I recall. I don't have my Method 2 sitting out here, but these are identical to what's on the Method 2. You're basically going to hook in the back. These G-hooks have a nice retainer on them, so they're secure when they're on, or if you don't want them on, you can take them off and stow them. If you want to walk in without them, whatever. The beauty is you get to kind of customize this however you want. Same with where it connects up on the front side of the saddle. When it comes to your legs, these are G-hooks, fully adjustable. You got the clips. You got the elastic retainers for your extra material where you can loop it up on itself. So I'm going to set these aside right now. I personally like leg straps, so when I use the saddle, these will be on. But it's cool that you get the option to not use them or to pack them, and you don't have to cut them off like you do on some saddles. So again, we'll set those aside. All right, so the saddle itself. Let's roll it out here. Turn around so you can see it. This saddle here As you can see, it's actually just a single panel. It's kind of got a rigid frame to it. It's got these straps down here. Now, the only other single panel that I've used in the past is made by Tethered. Nothing wrong with that saddle at all, but I don't recall it having the structured type of webbing straps, and these are stiff. So I'm kind of curious when we get this on, how's that going to feel underneath your backside. You've got the molly loops across the back of this thing. They're pretty standard. They're the flat molly loops, which I like. I know others make the standoff molly loops. I like the flat ones. I feel it just kind of secures the dump pouches better. Again, so right here would be where we would attach the leg straps to, right there. This one here has your linesman loops mounted sideways, where on the Method 2 they go from top to bottom this way. I don't think I've ever used a saddle where they go sideways, so I'm kind of interested to see how that is. I don't know if it'll be a detriment, but I could see how the benefit, if they went up and down, you would get extra molly loops, but I'll have to take and put a dump pouch on there and see if that really matters or not. So that looks kind of cool. I like it. They're very structured. They're not floppy. I hate the floppy kind of loops. I want something that's structured so when I reach down, I know it's there, and I can grab it. Flip this thing over to the side that goes up against your skin, and we get the manufacturer label in here, made in the USA. It's got a date of manufacturer on the other side of the tag here. Again, ventilated, that nice and breathable in the hotter months, for sure, definitely. On your tether loops, these are very structured. These are identical, as I recall, the Method 2 being. I haven't had the Method 2 on in probably a week now. And I'm actually going to do a side-by-side video on the two of them, I believe. So that's pretty cool. You've got your Amsteel bridge system with Prusik adjustments on it. The Prusik also goes around the tether strap, and they do that on both sides. I really like an Amsteel bridge. I tried an Optiplex bridge on a different saddle for a while, and it just doesn't slide through the carabiner like the Amsteel does. I really like it. So that's, again, consistent with what the Method 2 is, and I really like that saddle. Here would be your connection loops for the front sides of your leg loops. You got one on this side, excuse me, and one on this side here. After you bring them up through your legs, you can connect. Now, major difference between the Latitude saddles and a lot of the others, and this was consistent with the Method 2, is you have a rope belt instead of a strap with a buckle belt. And that's a bit awkward, or not awkward, that's a bad term. It's different. It's just different than what we're used to. That's not saying that what we're used to is better or worse or right or wrong. It's just different. Latitude, as I understand, has gone to the rope belt for a couple reasons. One being, if you want to pack your saddle in, you don't have the sound of metal clanking. There is no metal on the saddle. Hear that? There's nothing. So it's quiet. So if you want to carry it in, if you want to wear it in, it's not going to clank. The only metal would be on the hooks for the leg straps, but they're not going to be touching metal. So you could roll this thing up and pack it, and it's quiet. So that's a big reason. When I was really kind of unsure about the ropes, but I played with the Method 2 quite a bit a couple weeks ago after I got it. And what I found was the knot, one of the things was I thought the knot looked big, but it actually never gets in the way. And the beauty is you can position it if you want it straight out in the front, if you want it off the sides, you can position it wherever you want. And one of the things I did like about it, after I got playing with it and got really thinking about it, is when you go to a buckle with straps, you're typically going to set the length of those straps and buckle in. Now, as the season goes and it gets into colder weather, you're putting on more layers, you actually need to lengthen it out. And we all know how those types of straps and buckle systems, whether they're plastic snap buckles or metal buckles or whatever, we've done this a zillion times on all kinds of different things, that it's kind of a pain in the backside to get those things adjusted. The beauty of this is, I mean, this whole knot system basically just slides. So it just adjusts to whatever clothing depth that you're wearing on that day. Another cool part that I found is there's times I always feel in a saddle where I either feel like I've got it too tight for the situation or too loose for the situation. Like maybe walking in, I want it nice and snug walking in because I don't want things to fall off. I'm traversing, half a mile, whatever, and so you want that everything snug. Well, with the rope, all you do is just tighten it down, and it seems to stay in my testing of the method too. And then when I get to the tree, I always want it looser. Well, in the buckle, you can't really do that. There's no efficient way to make it looser. Again, the rope, you just loosen it up. So that is really cool. It's actually a lot more comfortable too than I thought it would be. Is it more comfortable than a properly fit strap with buckle? I don't know. I mean, it's such a subjective thing, but it's not uncomfortable at all. In fact, I really didn't notice it, but I think that's nice that on any given situation, traversing a field, climbing, hunting, you can set the tension on this as tight or as loose as you want and get it to your comfort without having to manipulate a bunch of buckles and feeding the strap through the loops and all that good crap. You know what I'm talking about. So I really like it. So this is a classic too. I forgot to say retail price on this thing. I looked it up on their website before I jumped on here, and it is basically $250. It's $249.99 or whatever. It's called $250. So I think that's about probably, I don't know, $20-30 less than the Method 2, that being 2-panel. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Don't quote me, but $250, that seems to be like in the going rate on a lot of these saddles. It seems like your really good brands of saddles fall somewhere in that $250 to $280 ballpark range. So, I don't think that's a bad price at all, especially 2022 when we know the price of everything's gone through the roof. So I think that's a good price. I don't know what else we can say here at the desk. I think the next step is to get outside and get on a tree and test this thing out. All right, so here we are out here with the Classic 2 from Latitude on in the field, and this is set up pretty close to how I would hunt. I've got this thing snugged down. Again, one of the cool parts about this waist belt that I think is that when I'm going in, I can really cinch this down and then nothing's going to fall as I walk across the field. You shake, you got maybe other things hanging off of it. When I get to the tree, all I basically have to do is grab that knot and I can loosen it up just a little bit, have a little more comfort. I can loosen it way up if I want to. Again, it's easy. I'm not messing with the straps like I discussed earlier. So I think that's a huge feature. I also have the leg belts on. As you can tell, nothing here is metal. So there's like no noise whatsoever when you move. That's pretty awesome. Your bridge, you can just tuck away, as you want, again, being AM steel. But right now it's just dangling here, obviously. So that would be as it's walking in. How is it when I'm walking? It's very comfortable. I can feel it. You can feel those straps right in here. Let me kind of get in here. Maybe you can see these a little bit closer. You can feel those straps, but I think that that's going to offer some support when we get up here in the tree. I've not been up in the tree to mess with it yet, but very comfortable. I don't feel as though there's any way this would be hindering me on my walk in. So I'm going to zoom in close. You can see some of the features here real quick, so just bear with me while I adjust the camera. All right, so again, zoomed in here, you can see here's the whole setup. As I turn around, I've got the regular dump pouch on this. My other one's on my Method 2 currently. And I am going to do a side-by-side comparison of these two. I will say one of the things that I commented on was these linesman loops relative to the Molly loops. And surprisingly, again, I'm going to go into this in more detail when I compare it with the Method 2, you only lose one Molly loop And that's due to kind of some of the things, the details I'll get into a later video. You only lose one MOLLE loop, and where I had them positioned in my original video, I had my Kydex clips for my steps, my climbing sticks in that additional loop. So my dump pouch is in the exact same spot as in my previous review, and it's not out of the, or it's not too far back. It's easy to get to. I can twist and I can see in it. I still have, as you can see, a Kydex clip here that I put on. These are from Eastern Woods Outdoors to hang my platform from when I walk in. A feature that I'd not seen on the Method 2 and that's on this is there's actually a MOLLE loop in front of the linesman loops here, and that can serve as a hanger for my steps, my sticks when I'm climbing. I've got one on this side and I got one on this side. So that's pretty cool. That's a feature I never even noticed in the Method 2 in my initial review. So with that, let's jump up in the tree and let's take a look at this thing on and talk about how comfortable it is. Okay, so I'm only about 2 feet off the ground to my feet. But let's look at this thing first in a linesman scenario, like if you were climbing. Obviously, I'm just standing on my platform, but if we're climbing, it's all the same. So I'm connected onto these sideways loops here. And again, this is the first time I've had a saddle that's got these horizontal loops. All of mine, my previous single panel and all of my double panels that I've had, all have vertical loops. What I can tell you, just based on what I know in my head feels like in my double panel saddles, including the Method 2, is you get a lot more tension through the waist in a climbing scenario with your linesman belt. Is that bad or is that good? I would say neither. I'd say it's neutral. It's just different. You got to remember, you're not spending a ton of time in a linesman situation. You're only theoretically using your linesman belt when you're going up the tree and in the process of coming down the tree. So I don't know that that is a good or a bad situation. We can let this out, you know, and it's comfortable. Like, I would say it's probably more comfortable in the vertical position, but this isn't uncomfortable by any means. It's just different than what I'm used to. Not bad at all. It's going to work. It's going to work at, you know, different angles. Actually, when you go higher, more of an angle up the tree, then you start feeling it underneath, which is technically a little more proper, you know, situation and the way, you know, you should have it set up here. So yeah, I don't have any issues. I don't have any issues with it at all. It's just different than what I'm used to. That's it. Not good, not bad, it's just different. So that's fine. So now let's hook this thing up to the tether. I'm already got my tether up here on the tree. So we're just going to disconnect and hook it up. And I'll just let the linesman, actually I'll just wad it up and put it in my dump pouch here in just a second. Okay, so here we are on the tether and the bridge system. And I'm leaned out fairly far. When I stand up right now, I got my tether about eye level, which is about where I like it. Bridge of your nose, eye level in that ballpark. Very comfortable. Now, right now as it's set, I've got the Amsteel bridge cords set up roughly about the midpoint of the bridge loops. I think earlier I was calling them tether loops, which tether loops, bridge loops, we all know what they're supposed to be doing. But in the bridge loops, one of the cool parts about these is that you can adjust the positioning. Like here I can run them up on the bridge loops because inside here there's some type of rope feeling material that's in here. It's very stiff. Again, I like it where, you know, it holds its form. And when you do that, it completely changes the support and the feel underneath you. So let's run them down low. I'm gonna run them all the way down. We're just gonna do extreme examples. I know from my past experience in using panels, I'm not a fan of them down low because when you do put them on low, it does, like the pressure exaggerates down low, down here. Now, it would be very comfortable and see, actually it's very comfortable, and we're a sitting position where you're down low and tight to the tree, because now you got more support right there, but then you lose any type of back support as well. So I tend to gravitate towards that neutral to maybe slightly above neutral position on my loops, whether it's a single panel or even a double panel. It's just where I tend to find that happy medium where I'm not adjusting things all the time. I really like that. I like the feel of it. One noticeable difference, and I know this isn't a comparison to the Method 2, but to a double panel, is it doesn't quite provide the back support that a double does, or what you can get away with. But you could add a back band to one of these. My issue with the back band is you got yet another set of straps coming down. It's just more stuff in the way, but it's incredibly comfortable. These bands in the back right here really do support really well. I don't feel hindered at all, you know, in the setup. If I was, say, rolling around to take a shot to my left, if I was working around the tree to the right, I don't feel any hindrance at all in this saddle. Everything feels very comfortable. The leg loops are not binding. I got them kind of set up neutral as well, not too tight, not too loose. If I was hunting, I would probably run this tag in through here, but I don't want to block, you know, anything that you can see. But, you know, obviously I could get to my back loop for getting my platform. Man, everything about this is super nice and super comfortable. It does provide a lot of support. I think I'm probably more of a double panel person, but this is very comfortable. This is more comfortable than my previous experience in a single panel. I will say that. And again, I think you can change some of the feel as to the positioning of your tether. Obviously with these on the bridge loops, you know, overall this thing is very well made. You know, I was really looking at the stitching and everything last night, and all the stitching's good. There's not frays, there's not loose tag ends hanging out. You know, the whole thing is just, it wraps around very nicely. I'm not getting hip pinch of any sort. Even that rope belt right now is kind of in like this, not loose, but it's definitely, I've got it set looser. I can put, you know, my hands between the belt and my body. I took the tag in and just stuffed it in my pocket. You can stuff it away, you know, wherever, do whatever you want with it. So again, this Latitude, these Latitude products are amazing. I mean, it's top-notch USA made stuff. Again, the saddles, I think I said it retail for $250. I got no issues, no complaints with this saddle whatsoever. Man, I'm interested. My next video is going to be a comparison between the Classic 2 and the Method 2. And I'm interested to see, when I bounce back and forth multiple times between the two, which I prefer. But I think also we can do some comparison of what it's like to hunt out of a double panel versus a single panel, for those of you who are kind of wondering. But yeah, this is pretty awesome gear. The guys at Latitude have knocked it out of the park with this. You know, again, the only thing that I'm neutral on is the horizontal loops for the linesman. But again, that's not negative, it's not positive. It's a neutral stance on it. I think I prefer the vertical, but there's nothing wrong with the horizontal, in my opinion. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I want to thank the guys at Latitude Outdoors for sending me this saddle. Again, they sent it to me, told me to do a review on it. They're not seeing this review before you do. You know, thank them, you know, great company, great guys, for them, you know, they sent this to me, and I get to keep it. And so either myself and or my daughter is going to hunt out of this year, I guarantee it. So I'm really impressed with their products. So as always, God bless, stay safe. It is the 1st of September today, and that means deer seasons are almost here. For most of us, we're a month away. So stay safe and shoot the buck of your dreams this fall, I hope, for everybody. So as always, it's a new day in the outdoors.